うんうんうん。
あそこが嫌でやめたんじゃなかったのか？
はあ、そんなこといつ
Yeah,
言い
when
まし
did
た？
she ever say
続
it?
けたいと打診した
Communicate,
のに
my
解雇したのはそ
dude.
ちらでしょう。
Hello, comrades. This is detectfanive, and today we are going to be watching Apothecary Diaries, Season 1, Episode 12, The Eunuch and the Courtesan. And before we start that episode, let's talk about the previous episode 11, Reducing 2 to 1. From that episode, Mamo discussed the situation with the honey with Fingming, who is the head of the lady in waiting for a duo. We found out that the reason she tried to poison Li Shu was because she tried to keep her distance away from a duo is because she figured out that the honey that she gave to a duo's baby died from the honey. And Li Shu, when she was a baby, she had a hard time having honey as a baby, so she was banned from having it because it could possibly give her a hard time breathing or she could die. So, this clicking all together for Fingming, she decided to do all that she can to keep this away because she has taken something precious away from a duo that she looks up to and that she will do anything for her. So she's carried this burden for 16 years. And it's really sad. But then we also figured out that a duo son is Jinshi. Jinshi doesn't know that a duo is his mother, at least I don't think so. But the reason Jinshi doesn't know that is because 16 years ago, the babies have been swapped between Dollwager and a duo. The only problem is that the baby that a duo had has died, and Dollwager, I get the feeling she knows that Jinshi is a duo's son, and I know that a duo knows that's her son, but I think they're keeping it down low. They're not saying anything because I'm pretty sure the Emperor himself doesn't even know that Jinshi is their son. At least that's what I think. And then going back to a few minutes ago from that episode, Mao Mao has talked to Fingming that she can get rid of that feeling of her not exposing Fingming for what she did to a duo. So a duo doesn't ever have to know to avoid like the crimes completely. She told her two things that the two that can become one, which is first what she was trying to do to Li Shu, and second, I think it was to explain about Li Shu, like the baby with the honey and stuff. I don't really remember that part. But I mean, I wrote it in my notes. It doesn't really. I don't remember. Anyways, point is, yeah, that's been crazy. But then we got the last part of the episode, which I didn't really click it, but apparently her Mao Mao could. I know she's not going to be executed because Genshi is the one who has to deal with it, but I get the feeling she might get fired just because she was basically some sort of slave that got kidnapped and was under some person's name that happens to be Fingming's family's business. So yeah, she was a part of that, and I don't know what's gonna happen next. At least that's what I think they were discussing for last episode. But anyways, moving on to episode 12. I don't know,
どう
man.
いたしましょうか。
I know you're not gonna execute her
フォン
though.
ミンの処刑後 犯行はフォンミンの一存によるものとさ
Bing Ming was determined. Oh.
れ、主であるアードー妃に沙汰がなかったのは幸いだった。そして今、フォンミンの実家、およびその関係者の名簿がここにある。
皇宮内に関係者の子女が80人ほどいます。
2000人中80人か。なかなかの的中率だな。薬屋がさらわれて売り飛ばされた先は、九段の関係者だったらしい。
お望みであれば隠蔽しますが。
お望みであれば、俺が言えばその通りになる。平民と貴人の区切りをつけたがるあれは、どんなに嫌な命令だろうと受け止めるだろう。命令するのは簡単だ。隠蔽すれば、このまま高級に留めておける。好きでもない場所に引き止められたと気づいたとき、どのように受け取られよう。二人の間の亀裂が、これ以上開くのがとても恐ろしい。
Aw, he
人士様、
cares for her.
都合の良い駒ではなかったのですか。
Yeah, sure.
大量解雇？
そうだよ。例の
Come on, Gaoshu, where were you? You ignored half of his attempts towards Mao Mao. Crazy man. Saying she's just one of the pawns.
お家と取引のあった家の娘は全員辞めなくちゃなんないんだって。これが結構な人数になるみたいなんだ。
なんだか嫌な予感がする。
Yep.
今帰れば。
ただいま。
あんたの客だよ。
確実に売り飛ばされる。
No, she cares for you, girl. The heck?
前に確認したとき、私の書類上の実家は交易を行っている商家になっていた。本民に伺いを情報農家、中の接点があるか
Yep.
もしれない。
Well, Jinshi will let you know, girl. Oh, it's so sad though. What is Kyokyo's gonna do though? She had like the best apothecary. Now she's gonna have to be let go.
人士様。
珍しいな。息が荒いぞ。
Yep.
落ち着け。顔が真っ赤だぞ。
お話があります。
わかった。中で話そう。
Yep.
今度の大量解雇のことだろ。
はい。私はどうなるのでしょうか。
名簿だ。
つまり、解雇というわけですね。
ど
Yeah.
うしたい？
玉葉様の次女になってから、毒味もできるし、医局にも出入りできる。それなりに今の生活を気に入ってる。でも、私はただの女官。解雇しないでくださいなんて言える立場ではない。
Well,
こびる
they're
目をしないよう
both
にしなければ。
thinking this differently.
私はただの女官です。言われるままに、下働きでも、まかないでも、毒味役でも、命じられればやります。
命じられれば。
昇給金が下がっても文句は言わない。売り飛ばされるまでの時間が稼げれば、なんとかする。だから、クビにしないでくれ。
Yeah, you're
Wakata.
fired.
それでは、
Nope, because that's not what he wanted. Yep.
交渉失敗。マオマオ解雇。
No.
いつまでそうしているつもりですか。やはり引き止めればよかったのでは。
Yeah,
そう
man.
言うな。
解
guys
雇
were
通知の翌週、
Definitely on
シャオマオは花町へ帰
opposite
って
ends on your decision.
礼儀正しく世話になった場所一軒一軒に挨拶をして回ったという。
後悔しても知らないわよ。
Yep. Mm-hmm.
お気に入りのおもちゃをなくしたこの人に代わりの珍しいおもちゃを与えるの
Kyokyo's
は
not
骨
happy
が折れ
either.
る。娘をおもちゃと一緒に
Good
してはい
luck,
けない
Gaoxiao.
のかもしれ
You're
ない
gonna have to deal with the
道具と
pouty
して扱いたくなくて引き止めるのをやめたの。
person for quite
全
some
くもって
time.
手間のかかる厄介な主人だ。あの武漢に尋ねてみるか。
Oh my gosh.
やっぱりそばかすはない方がいいわね。口紅は私のを貸してあげる。
今宵の仕事は、 議廊の外で行われる鬼人の宴。議女を屋敷に呼ぶにはそれだけお金がかかる。その上、一晩の尺で一般の給金1年分の銀が消える6召喚の3姫をまとめて呼びつけるとは、金とはあるところにはあるものである。一緒に行くって言っても、私の役目は姉ちゃんたちの引き立て役だよ。
はい、
Look
マウマ
better
ウ。
by comparison.
高級を出るとき思ったより金を弾んでもらえたから、とりあえず売り飛ばされずに済んでいる。
Hmm.
引き立て役も大事な仕事だ。
時間だよ、早くしな。おいよ、少しはマシになったじゃないか。すぐに客を取ってくれてもいいんだよ。
やり手ババアはどうしても私を妓女にしたいらしい。
たんまり稼いできな。
シーカも銀ゼズ2個も引けない。舞踏なんてもってのほか。薬以外には興味もない薬屋の娘なのに、どうにもここ
Oh,
数
yeah,
年
that's right. I
その
forgot
動きが
about
顕
that.
著だ。
But she will be useful because she is an apothecary.
目のくらむような調度品ばかり。
No way.
一つくらい土産にもらってもバレない。あ、いいかいいか。
Yep.
こちらのお部屋でございます。
I get the feeling it's Jinshi.
李白様の紹介の宮廷交換だと聞いたが、思ったより年若いな。
ジュル
I get
さあ、
the feeling
行きましょう。
it's Jinshi who did this.
こんな金持ちがいるなら、もっと早く紹介してくれればいいのに。李白様の縁なら、借金も少しは減っただろうに。
Mm-hmm. Ooh. The awkward smile on Mao. We need to show her medicine to make her genuinely smile.
仕事とはいえ、ずっと笑ってるのは疲れるな。おや、つまらないのか？
Oh.
失礼します。
一人にしてくれ。一人になりたいんだ。
はて、
Really?
どこかで聞いたことがあるような声。
Jinshi, it's your girl.
人士様。
なぜ避ける？
妓女には触れないでくださ
お前、化粧で変わるって言われないか？
い。よく言われます。アルバイト中です。
議論でか？
そうです。
もしかしてお前。
このお方はどうにも人の低層を疑う性格らしい。別に個人で客を取ったりしてませんよ。まだ。
まだ。なら、俺が買ってやろうか。
いいかもしれませんね。もう一度高級に勤めるのも悪くないです。
あそこが嫌でやめたんじゃなかったのか？
はあ？そんなこと
Yeah, when did she ever say it? Communicate, my dude.
そちらでしょう。
お？
確かに面倒事は多かったですが、毒味役など、なろうと思ってなれるものじゃありません。いただけないのは、毒実験ができないことくらいでした。
毒実験はさすがにやめろ。
今日はまた一段と子供みたいな顔をする。
It's because he's been moping
お前、
around.
そういうやつだよな。言葉が足りないって言われないか？
よく言われます。
だからなんで逃げる？
規則ですか？
Yeah, rules are
少
rules.
しくらいいいだろ？
ダメです。
得るもんじゃないだろ。
気力が減ります。
片手だけ、指先だけだ。
そういえばこの男粘着質だったな。指先だけですよ。こいつ、
あれいつの間にまおまおったら
見てられないな。
姉さん、ゴーシュン様？
Yeah, what the freak,
もう
Gaoshun?
何が何やら困ったもので、その後のことはよく覚えていない。ただ、とにかく姉ちゃんたちの追求がしつこかったのはよく覚えている。
Oh, yeah, because they were throwing all these questions at you.
念のため作っておくか。そばかすを書かないとろくなことにならない。あれは去年の冬か。さらわれたのも驚きだが、よりによって売られた先が高級とは。
That is true. That is
しか
very
も出世
surprising.
して次女にまでなって、
MS
年季が
Gyokyo
終わるまでおとなしく
and
して
the
いる
ladies
と
in
思って
waiting's
たのに。
there.
マオマオ、できてるかい？
はい、これ。
見てもらいたいのがいるんだ。頼めるかい？
わかった。
Why do I get the feeling it's Jinshi? Oh, this person at the annex.
生涯関わりたくない場所だったんだよな。
You just said you wanted to go back there.
元気かなみんな。
See?
どうすんだいこれから。
借金ならちゃんと返すよ。
当たり前だ。
I don't think he
戻
really
るのか
cared
い
about that.
呼吸に。
わかんない。でも、高級も花町も大して変わらないのかも。
眠れないのか。
少し風に当たってくる。
気をつけるんだよ。
Whoa, is it winter already? Oh, well, I guess she ditched the last winter. And it's winter again.
冬も花町も大して変わらない。花園であり、鳥かごだ。
Beautiful. Beautiful soundtrack.
どうなるんだろう。これから。
Stick around here, not much will happen. Other than you getting cold.
数日後、都の花町に美しい貴人が現れる。
Yep.
やり手ババアも目がくらむ君それとなぜか。虫から生えた奇妙な草を持ったその男は一人の娘を所望した。
Yep. He asked for Mau Mau. We don't want gold. Mau Mau wants a certain rare herb. A wonderful episode, along with all these other ones that I'll be watching in the future. Pingwing's family are affected by her action, which also includes Mau Mau because she's been kidnapped by the people that were some sort of merchants that were also part of the beekeeper's family situation. And the worst part is it's gonna be a difficult situation because there are 80 children in the rare palace, which they're gonna have to, it's gonna take a hit ratio because there's over 2,000 people in that rare palace, and taking out all of them, not killing them, but it would be hard to work with them after the situation with Bingming. So that I don't know, that's even a harder situation for her family than her deciding not to tell a duo about the honey situation. So yeah. And now Genshi is thinking of his time with Mau Mau, and I would say he's assuming how Mau Mau thinks, but considering how she does talk to Genshi, I could see where his head was with fearing that she might not like staying there if she ever does figure out that he did conceal the facts. And it's true in a way because like it makes sense that he would think that way because she doesn't talk that much with him. Plus she's like really smart, so she would figure out the situation sooner than later. So he knows that she's not dumb enough to do that, and she wouldn't disagree with the situation because she would agree immediately. And she already did that when he did console her, but point is, now Gao Shou has realized that she's not a convenient pawn into Genshi's situation. And Genshi can see this, including Gyokyo. And when Mau Mau was running around trying to figure out about the merchants that were of the beekeeper, she was wanting to convince Jinshi that she wanted to stay, but then that's when Jinshi decided to let her go. And she just was okay with it because she wasn't going to disagree. And she left, but before she did, she thanked every single one of the people that she was connected with, had business with, she thanked them and said her goodbyes before she left the rare palace. But Gyokyo basically said he's going to regret it. And yeah, he is, because he's looking like a puddle of mushroom. And it is very concerning. Even Gaosho doesn't know what to do with this situation. So I'm pretty sure he's the one who set up uh the noble, because he knew of like Mao Mao's probably going back into the Fertigus, because that's the only thing she can do at the moment to get the money to pay the old lady back. And when she went with her sisters, she went to pay for this situation, but she didn't know how rich this person was. But this person had paid 3 of these ladies, which is very expensive, because having just one would be a lot for just that whole year, but to get 3 is very impressive. So this person must be really rich, which is probably came out of Genshi's money, of course. But he's depressed until he saw Mao Mao. And yeah, she is very impressive in her makeup and her beauty, because she's naturally beautiful. And Genji is now worried because Mao Mao is a courtesan. And she told Genji about her feelings, that she wanted to convince him that she wanted to stay, but that's when he decided to let her go. And there's every time he just wants to touch her, she tries to avoid it, but she knows how persistent he is, so she decided to let him just a finger, and he touched her lips and puts it against his lips, his fingers, which had the lipstick on, and it stuck onto his lips, the lipstick. Anyways, that was I don't know. I like Genshi. I'm still skeptical with his relationship with Mao Mao, because he tends to get too close into her personal space, so I'm still skeptical about that. But I do enjoy when these two do get together, because when they do interact, it is funny and entertaining. And that's why I don't like when. That's why I agree with Gyokyo that Genshi was going to regret it, because that was her entertainment. And it's part of mine too, because they actually are pretty funny. Except for that punny incident part. That wasn't funny. Even Gyokyo was upset with that situation. But yeah. Um but once that happened, she came back from that party and went to the annex to, it's probably her mom or someone. I don't know who exactly, but she's still unwell, and she went to go take her bath along with the old lady. And I'm pretty sure the old lady was worried about Mao Mao, and she does talk to her what she thinks about the rare palace. And Mao Mao said the brothel brothels brothels the rare palace are similar in their situation. The only thing that's different is that Mao Mao at their palace, she has more experience over there and does something that she feels like she belongs than at the Fertigus. But she does say it's similar, and I can understand why it's similar. It's just the situation. Yeah. And Jinshi, he decided to give the lady a big, massive gold to the old lady, and then Jinshi gave Mao Mao a strange herb growing from an insect that she was really excited to see and wanting. And yeah, I kind of figured that was his way of trying to get Mao Mao. So basically, he just bought a courtesan. Oh, it's just kind of silly for a eunuch to do that, but you know what? It's all good. It's all good. Because she's just going back to the rare palace. Hopefully he doesn't try to use that as his advantage of being close to her space. But then again, he did buy her, so this is hard because I was like, I have every right to be like, ugh. But now I'm not so sure because he did this is so wrong. Okay. Anyways. Yeah. That's all I have to say for this episode. So you lovely comrades, have a wonderful, beautiful, and an amazing day. Not kidding. Love you, comrades. Bye.